Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems podcast. I'm Chad Daniels.
Oh, and I'm Kelsey Cook.
Hello.
Hi, you really threw me for one there.
Well, you did that last time, and I just figured I'm out of other podcasters.
Sure.
I'm just going back to using your name.
I was going to go with Dan Cummins.
Oh, I'm Lindsay Cummins.
Very popular podcast duo.
Yes, who we happen to have a lovely trip with this past weekend.
Yeah, they are our friends. They have, if you don't know, they have, Dan has Time Suck. Well, I guess they both do, but he is the host of Time Suck. Mm-hmm. And then they have Scared to Death, which is a very awesome podcast with, if you like creepy shit. Well, check both of them out if you
Honestly,
like creepy
both.
shit.
Yeah.
And by the way, when I say both of them, I mean the humans, not even the podcasts. They're fucking creeps.
I started to become a little too sensitive for Time Suck because a lot of it is talking about serial killers, and I'm on the road by myself too much.
Yeah.
It's too much for my imagination. So,
All right. Well.
But it's a fucking fantastic podcast. It's so good. I really love like the cult episodes or historical episodes. I just have to steer clear of serial killer ones.
Yep, but they don't answer questions about blowjobs. So here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
For our podcast.
That's right.
We went to Red Hot Chili Peppers over the weekend at the Gorge in Washington, and God, it was great.
It's true.
They are old and they're ripping it. They're putting on a really good show in their 60s, and I just loved it.
The lead singer, he gets his energy. He plugs into a young gal. He plugs into youth. So that's where he gets his energy from.
The juices of the young.
I gotta give it to your doctor. That's a very accurate lyric.
Yeah. Yep. They're my favorite band. Have been for a long time. Did I love saying that right after talking about how Anthony Kiedis
Well, you had a chance with Tony, but you aged out of it.
I am far too old.
Yeah.
For...
Father Tony wouldn't even look twice at you.
This wrinkled, dried out prune. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that he dates such young girls.
Easy.
Well, listen.
I know this is
our age gap. This is very different than
age gap. Yeah, it's not. We don't have to times 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Ours doesn't involve a slot machine bonus. Times 3. But it was very fun. It was fun to hang out with Dan and Lindsay. It was fun to camp. You're not a real camper.
No, I'm not. I really was like keeping an open mind this time. I was like, maybe it'll be better than I think. And the thing you don't think about going into it is that the people who are camping at the Gorge post-concert are the people that are getting so fucked up that they can't drive.
They came to party.
They came to party. They came to let her rip.
They came to let her rip. They were slamming a cooler, a Yeti cooler, which, can I tell you something? Just needs to be, weep, one of these. Dip it, dip.
The people right next to us.
Right next to us. You set it down. They have 2 straps that you can hold all the way down. You can break its fall. You can trust fall
it. Yeah.
But these guys were slamming it like they were practicing to spin the wheel on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh my God. It was intense. Also intense. Get it? Because we were camping.
This is the last episode of Pretend Problems Podcast. I'm glad you tuned in.
That was a good one. Come on.
I'm Aaron Hernandez. Only if you get it if you get it. I'm not explaining that one.
Okay, we're just going to let it sit.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got back to our tent, the 4 of us olds, ready to tuck in, and the people next to us were setting up beer pong. And I was like, well, I will not be sleeping this evening. And sure enough, it was a lot of noise. It's not super comfortable. I'm not a sleep on my back person. I have to be on my side. And it's not great with a little...
Yeah, that's right.
Is that even sexual? I don't think that's sexual. I think you're forcing it to be.
No, if you're on your left side, it's a possible good morning. How do you do?
It's Boop City.
It's a good morning. How are you?
Yeah, that's true. So Yeah, I didn't sleep great. You love it. You really love camping.
I love camping. I don't care about the not sleeping. I think my body gets recharged with the fresh air, the wilderness, the 2 a.m, God damn it, I missed again. That kind of stuff pumps me up.
It gets you
Really
going.
floats my boat. But I've been tired since the concert. I didn't drink. People are like, well, I can't even drink anymore. It ruins me for 3 days. I can't stay up past midnight or it ruins me for 3 days. Pretty cool. I'm giving away, no.
Well, to be fair, past midnight and also 2 hours behind our usual
That's
time
true.
zone.
I guess
so
it was
for us, it's
past
like
2.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough on our bodies. We are also going to see Red Hot Chili Peppers again in like just over a month because they're doing the first annual Minnesota Yacht Club Festival. And it's Red Hot Chili Peppers, Alanis Morissette, and Gwen Stefani, among others. Oh my God. I'm so excited.
And Gwen Stefani is the stepsister of one of the owners of Glam Doll Donuts right here in Minneapolis. So who knows? Maybe she'll be at Glam Doll Donuts before the show. We don't know yet.
Really?
We don't have any idea yet.
I didn't know that. I still need to go to Glam Doll Donuts.
Yeah, you do.
Donuts.
Yeah,
Sounds good right now.
that's what I'm saying.
Are you comfortable sharing what you did at the concert for the, I guess, second time in your life?
Well, I did. I took just two little baby mushroom capsules.
Woo-woo.
I just took it because I haven't drank in quite a while now, and I just wanted to try it because I hear about all this microdosing, and I hear that it can help rewire some connections. And yeah, listen, I got people in my fucking life telling me my connections are wrong. It's nonstop. It's from the time I wake till the time I'm able to go to sleep. It's hard because I keep thinking about it.
No,
that's also not
way.
true. But Dan is very open about his drug use, and he did not take 2. He took more than that. But I said, I'm going to take 2, and he's like, come on, take 3. And I said, I've done this before. I've heard people go, no, you can handle 1/2 of this chocolate peanut butter edible cup, and then the next thing you know, I'm in a hammock for 7 hours.
Yeah, in Narnia.
Yeah, I'm not good at doing drugs, but I did, I felt it come over me a couple times, nothing crazy, but I couldn't stop smiling on the shuttle bus over to the concert from the campsite.
Yeah.
And then we got up to go to the bathroom, and I felt like I was on a cloud.
Wow.
My legs were all tingly. I felt like I was on a cloud, and it's not just from standing in place for an hour either.
Yeah. I've never tried mushrooms, but I'm open to it. I didn't do them at the concert because I'm on these goddamn SIBO antibiotics.
Shit, SIBO! Oh, we went different routes there.
But maybe we talked about it at the cabin, being on the boat, looking up at the stars, taking mushrooms together.
I can't take mushrooms looking at stars. I'm going to tell you why. Because the one thing that shuts me down, that really turns my dick into an innie.
Cooks your book.
Yeah. Is trying to figure out where space ends. I do not need to be on a goddamn psychedelic trip.
Sorry, I just really let your dick turns into an innie set in, and that was very funny. That deserved more in the moment. I'm sorry.
I don't care about that. I'm concerned about the idea of doing anything to my brain, because even without anything, when I'm in a hot tub and I'm looking up and I'm like, yeah, where does it end? It's still fucking going. And I start to freak out.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I get that same way when I think about what happens when we die.
Oh, you know what? Honestly, I'd rather die than have to think about where space ends again. I truly would.
Yeah. So it was a great trip, and also just thought I would let everybody know, because Chad does a lot of shit talking about how many times.
What's wrong? You need a spotter?
About how many times he's won the puzzle belt. And I just would like to share with our audience, especially if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it, that I am currently in possession of the belt. I beat Chad.
It's true.
3 games in a row.
It's true.
And am I 2 days away from losing it again? Maybe. But
I honestly was not going to bring it up. I think you tried to 8-mile me. No, I wasn't. When we were in Spokane, I talked to your dad, your stepmom about this, and I really wasn't going to bring it up. So you fucked yourself. You could have had a whole thing.
Well, whatever. Either way, I still have the belt.
You do have the belt.
And it feels really good.
She played well. There were some hard days on Wordle that I really, really struggled, and you dominated. So
thank you.
You deserve it.
If you're a new listener tuning in, Chad and I, for so long now, we have kept up our streak of playing either Wordle, Nerdle, Quirtle, or we've added connections in as well now.
Connections on New York Times as well. Very fun.
Yes, and we will play each one for a week, and whoever can get to 3 wins the belt for the time period.
Yep. 3 in a row. Yeah.
3 in a row. Yeah. If I win one and he wins one, that's a wash. We have to start over. But oh god,
this is her second time winning the belt.
Is it only my second time?
Maybe the third time.
I think it's the third.
I think it is the third time because I was just going to say that every time you win the belt, in 3 weeks I take it back.
Yeah.
I dial it in. I get
true.
my shit together, and I win it back. And I think that's happened twice.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing motivates you like me winning.
Yeah.
In anything.
Anyone winning in anything. Just so we're clear, I'm not picking on you. Yeah. I don't like to lose.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of competition, look at that segue. We watched the movie The Iron Claw.
And what the fuck?
I don't know that I have seen such false advertising for a movie before.
I know. It's
in terms of the trailer.
They're lying in bed, protesting the tan so that the brother with the money can be there, man. So on the beach you're strolling, real high rolling. Everything you have is yours and not stolen. So they're lying in bed, not on the beach. And
is that ADHD?
No.
Kidding.
That's full-blown awesomeness.
Maybe it's born with it. Maybe it's ADHD.
So they're lying in bed. They're like, it looks like this wrestler becomes a family man. And I guess he does. But
sure.
The fucking route he takes to get there is filled with landmines and pills and tigers. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you want to watch Iron Claw, skip like
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
That's all I'm going to do is 30 seconds. But this fucking family, they say that their name, because the dad changed the name and it gave him a curse. And you're like, there's no curse. There's a fucking curse.
There's a curse. There's a curse.
I mean, the curse is the dad because he's such a bitch. The dad made it. Honestly, I wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
While watching this thing, I wanted to go, will I go to prison if I kill one guy to save 6 lives? That's a question a jury's going to have to fucking consider.
Truly. Yeah.
So it is brutal. And it is not what you think it is. There's fucking 6 minutes of wrestling.
Seriously. Yeah. It's in the trailer. It's like Zac Efron and Lily James being like, oh, like, what do you want out of life? Well, I want a family and I want to wrestle with my brothers and, well, we can do it together on a farm. Like, that is what the trailer is.
Yeah, and that's what we thought we were getting into. Keep fast forwarding.
Anyway, we won't say more, but just like, it's not a light afternoon watch. You're going to have some feelings afterward of like, how could this, because it's based on a true story. So it's like, how could this possibly happen to one family?
Yeah. And all of the tragedy isn't even in the fucking movie.
Is it in his fake jawline?
Stop. You threw me with that. You really rifed me.
That was very funny.
We looked it up, and all of the tragedy that happened to this family, some of it didn't make it in the film because the filmmaker was like, I can't do this to people.
It's too much.
Some people are going to watch this in northern Minnesota on a rainy day in a cabin thinking it's going to be lighthearted and family friendly, and it's a fucking kick in the dick.
It really is.
Ugh.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't mean to face shame Zac Efron. I just think that plastic surgery was.
We don't know what happened.
Oh, we don't know that it was like for cosmetic reasons.
I think there's rumors that his jaw was broken and they had to redo something.
Oh.
I will tell you this, Zac Efron, beautiful.
Beautiful man.
When you see the pics on the internet, he is fucking beautiful with a jaw. He had a decent jawline. So that's why you don't know, you know? I mean, I know he really got into weightlifting, and listen, you know, someone with body dysmorphia, even people that look fucking shredded and muscular and you're like, oh my God, they must never have a bad thought about their body. They do. If they have body dysmorphia, if they look perfect, they don't feel that way. And so who knows? Who knows what's going on with that young man? But God, I wish him the best because he acted his little tush off.
Yeah.
He was so good in the movie. I'm saying so fucking good in that movie.
He'll win awards.
I sure hope so.
Or at least be nominated.
I surely hope
was,
so because he was fantastic.
Yeah. I can't imagine how dark the preparation was for that role.
Yeah, he probably was minutes away from going Heath Ledger.
I was just gonna say.
You were?
Yeah, I was thinking. It just made me think of the Joker. I was like, that's.
It was tough. It was a tough watch. I will say, fantastic movie.
Yeah.
If you're into like really good movies with a great storyline and just a lot of things happening, this is something to watch.
Yeah, great acting. It just was not what was advertised.
Right.
You were like, what do you think about watching Iron Claw? It was me and Chad and his daughter, and we were like, yeah, sure. Seems like a fun, like we're at the cabin.
Yeah.
Summer's starting. Sure. And just all of us wet-faced at the end.
3 times the fucking Iron Claw was applied. 3. In 2 hours and 15 minutes, someone got the Iron Claw put on them thrice. Not on my watch, bitch. Thank you for leaving some of the stuff out, but I could have seen more Iron Claw.
Yeah. So
we got to get moving.
You've been warned. We're gonna record back-to-back episodes today.
Back to back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back,
Chili's baby back.
Well, sorry about that. We're not even sponsored by Chili's. Son of a bitch.
I'm catching the ADHD. It's rubbing off on me. I'm kidding.
I have not been diagnosed. What in the fuck,
I'm just
lady?
trying to have a little fun.
Oh my gosh.
The king of just kidding can't take a just kidding.
Well, this is kind of a weird just kidding.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know I was so sensitive about it.
I'm not really that sensitive.
I don't think you are.
I don't like to kid about mental health, I guess. I threw you under the bus hard. I threw you under the wrestling bus.
This is what I get for walking into the just kidding ring. It's like, you're going to get
yeah.
body slammed.
Yeah, you don't want. I'll put the fucking just kidding Iron Claw right on you and take that belt back.
Is it okay that I'm joking about it?
Of course, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to do our middle segment. We pulled a few more cards from the We're Not Really Strangers card game. We've talked about it. It's got great prompts. It's not sponsored, but we just like it. So I liked this one because it says to ask the person you're playing with, what is your mother's name and the most beautiful thing about her?
Okay. You want me to go?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. My mom's name's Karen. And the most beautiful thing about her is, this is the thing that I have admired since I was a little kid. She worked at an electric company or like power company, whatever. And she was the lady that you would go in to give your bill to when you paid it. This is like a long time ago before you just did it online. And in the winter, obviously it gets very cold where I grew up in northern Minnesota. And she would always work with whoever it was. If they came in and paid $10 or $15 on a bill, she said, as long as you're paying, I'm not going to submit this to anybody because everybody needs to get through winter and we'll figure it out. And I just have always thought that was so kind and so wonderful. And I don't think she had permission to do that, which she was just like, fuck it. This is how I live. Yeah. And she's one of the best.
I love that. And I love her.
Yeah, me too.
And I love that story about her. So my mom's name is Kathy, and I think the most beautiful thing about her is her giant heart. And she, when we lived in Cheney, used to feed raccoons in our backyard. She would feed them dry cat food. And this was like much to the chagrin of our neighbors because people don't love raccoons, right? People don't want raccoons in their yard. They can be like very violent creatures. Oh my God, that scared me.
It scared everybody. Both the animals jumped.
Yeah, an elf. Does somebody need a hug? Its tail. Yeah, I mean, they're not known for being super affectionate, despite like TikTok videos where it's somebody raising it from a baby. But this was like families of raccoons who would then have babies, and then we'd have baby raccoons in the backyard. Yeah. Anyway, was this a problem? Yeah, probably. But my mom, she's not particularly religious, but she would just always say, well, they're all God's creatures. And she just is like that about any animal, like always was rescuing stray animals, or even if she felt like one of our neighbors wasn't taking good enough care of one of their pets, then that pet just became our pet.
She'd fucking go over and just go, you're not doing it right.
And
that's so great. It's so funny to me.
That was our cat now.
And also no one fucked with her. They were like, oh, yeah, I guess that's not ours.
Yeah.
So
very,
good.
very strong-willed.
So
but
good.
The way she loves animals and people, like the things she did for her students, very similar to me to the things that your mom did for the customers there, where it's like if a kid was failing in her class, which was like basically impossible to fail in her class, she would let kids retake. She was my high school French teacher. She would let kids retake. Bonjour. She would let kids retake tests as many times as they wanted until they got the grade they wanted. Because for her, it wasn't about punishment. It was about learning. She's like,
isn't that brilliant?
Yes.
It's such a brilliant move to it's like, you're going to take it once, you're going to fail. I'm going to give you an F. Your parents are going to yell at you. You're going to hate fucking French for the rest of your life. Or
yes,
you can keep coming in here, and guess what? Then you're going to know the 40 questions at least that I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's so smart, and it should be adopted across the country. Maybe you should get like more points if you do it right the first time or whatever it is. But I'm just saying, I just think to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah. She has a really special way about treating young adults like adults, where it's like, hey, I'm not going to give you something that you're going to want to rebel against. So she was like that as a teacher, and she was like that as a parent, where it was just like, I just would like you to feel like you can talk to me about stuff. And like I was a good kid anyway, but there was never like, I saw some of the people around me who were like in houses with very, very strict parents. And those were the kids who were like going off and drinking at a really young age, or like getting into drugs because their parents were like, if you fucking do that, you're done or whatever. And my mom was like, well, just let me know if you're thinking about doing that, because I would like you to do it safely. And I was like, oh, okay. Like nothing was cool. Like nothing was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You didn't have to go, oh, well, I'm gonna go out and drink tonight. It's gonna be crazy, because your mom diffused it.
Yes. And she was like that with her students, and I could obviously go on and on, but that's my favorite thing about her. It's her big heart. So
yeah, that's awesome. She is great. And even like the smiles she gives now are just like make you explode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We saw my mom over the weekend while we were at the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, and we had a really great visit with her one of the days. And she said at one point, just out of nowhere, she goes, I can't believe how old I am, and I can't believe how pretty I am. And it was like,
it was really great.
Like her before dementia, she would never, like Chad talks about body dysmorphia and stuff like that. My mom definitely really erred on the side of feeling more self-conscious and stuff like that. She would not have said something like that about herself. And I was like, man, that is like one little tiny morsel of this disease. If like you feel beautiful right now, I'm so thrilled that you do.
Yeah.
So
that was great.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, should we plug some dates and then get into some questions?
Let's plug some dates.
Okay, so this is coming out on Wednesday, June 6th? No, 5th.
I don't know.
Anyway, you guys know. Wednesday, middle of the week. 5th. Let's say 5th. I will be on After Midnight on CBS again tomorrow night. And then I will be on The Talk on CBS on Friday, doing a couple little TV spots this week. And then I'm going to be in Kansas City this weekend, Friday and Saturday at the Improv. And then Chad and I go on the Fully Loaded Burt Tour next week, which is Macon, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia.
That's right.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Correct.
West Palm Beach, Florida. And Dayton Beach, Florida.
Daytona Beach, Florida.
Dayton. Bring a little Ohio.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, we're on Dayton Beach. Yeah.
So, and then in July, I'm in Charlotte and Raleigh. So kelseycook.com for tickets. Fall dates are also on there.
I'm going to be in Springfield, Missouri this weekend, noodling. I'm going to stick my arm in a hole and catch myself a motherfucking suckerfish. I'm going to be there doing stand-up at the Blue Room, and then I'm going to be where she said with Bert and the gang on the Fully Loaded tour. And then July 12th and 13th, I'm going to be in Detroit. And I swear to Christ Almighty, if those shows don't sell out, I'm burning it down. I'm chaining the doors, and I'm burning it down because so many emails. Okay, we've talked about it. ChadDaniels.com/tour.
/tour. Okay, guys. If you want to write into the show, it's pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com. You can send in any questions if you want advice, if you've got a funny story or, want to share something that pertains to what we've talked about on the podcast. We would love it. So this first one is called Patreon Idea, which we really appreciate because we've got a meeting with Patreon tomorrow.
Yeah.
The web page is almost done. We're getting
excited.
really close to launching, guys. An idea for Patreon. Hi, Kelsey and Chad. I am happily married, but not everyone is as lucky as me. I love you both so much that I think I would still listen to your podcast even if I wasn't in a relationship. I'm not sure if this is doable, but I know that you guys are amazing. I also know for a fact you must have millions of listeners. Oh, you sweet man. How do I break this to you? We would love millions of listeners.
Here's how I'll break it to you. Detroit is not sold out yet.
We fucking wish. You know what? We're doing fine, and I am excited for us to keep doing better.
Yeah.
How about that? Putting that out into the universe.
This is a growing podcast. That is absolutely for sure, and we appreciate all the support.
Truly. So they say, do you think you could get some listeners in the same area that are not in a relationship and have a dating game show? Maybe listeners could suggest a friend or a relative they want to see in a relationship. You could call it Pretend Dating is Easy Show or something. Second thought, you could have 2 or 3 sets of couples and have a fun who know more about their partner. I know I love this game, but I believe this was a game show before, so I might have some copyright issues.
Dating game, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, Kelsey, thank you for reading my ideas. Thank you for sharing that.
What's that called? Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry.
The marriage game?
It's called the Newlywed Game.
Oh, the Newlywed Game. Yep. So, I mean, I love this. I'm all for if there was a way we could do like, hey, where are our like top cities of listenership?
Yeah.
And if we could like suggest a local like time and everybody meet up, who knows?
That would be sweet.
That'd be very fun. I would love that. So thank you for writing.
Thank you very much.
We can definitely think about that.
And I hope your marriage does work out, but if it doesn't, thank you for still being a listener.
Hell yeah. Okay, this says advice for Chad. Hi, Kelsey and Chad. We're off to a great start. Huge fans of both of you and was stoked when I found out you two were dating. Kelsey, I found your comedy through the Crab Feast. Fuck the Crab Feast, 5 stars. Yes. And Chad through an ex. I love Risks of Fury as well and still saying fucking check whenever I mark something off a to-do list. I love that from Dad Daniels. Oh, thanks. Anywho, Chad, I am also allergic to cats and seem to always date girls with cats. I finally found an allergy medicine that actually works called Xyzal. XYZAL. You can get the generic on Amazon because the name brand is a bit expensive. I went to an allergist for all this and she said it's safe to take up to 2 and you can take it at night so no drowsiness during the day. Love the podcast. Keep up the great work. Congrats on finding each other.
Oh, well, thanks for that. And thanks for the advice.
Yeah. I know you said on a recent one that you were feeling like that probably won't be the route you go. And I respect that. I really do.
I may not take medication, but it is good to when I finally throw the comforter off me in a fit of rage at 4 a.m., I know which one to grab. That's nice.
We have a plan in place. Yes. Okay. This next one is titled Letters Evaluation. Hi, Chad and Kelsey. Old Jenna here. Hi, Jenna.
Hey.
You're great. You made the incredible Pretend Problems podcast bracelets that we love so much. And we are still figuring something out to do with that for Patreon. Chad, this is mainly for you because I'm curious where you will be getting your evaluation for ADHD plus done. I am also in the Twin Cities and haven't found a place that isn't 8 to 10 months out. I mean, I'll wait if I have to, but if you have an in, winky face. Kelsey, I also really appreciate that you are doing your research to understand neurodiversity. It is very complex, but it shows how much you care for Chad and trying to understand him better. That is the goal. Love you both. Okay, bye. Thank you, Chad.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, it's not research as much as it is ammunition to use against me in not a court of law, but in our fucking kitchen when I'm screaming at the blender when it's not working right. So, Jenna, if I may call you that. Yeah, it was very nice of her because I wasn't going to look it up. I mean, I guess that's not true. I did some research, but you had all these lists and Venn diagrams and all this stuff, and it did make things a little easier to look at. Again, I'm just going to repeat something I've already said. I don't know what I'm going to do if I figure this out. Like if I figure out I have it, I'm not sure what steps to take because I guess I don't know. I guess I'd just like to, it feels like I'm a football player that all season they've just been like, go do this, go do this, go do this. And then now someone's handed me the playbook. It feels a lot like that because I'm like, oh, that's why this is happening or whatever. And I'm not going to certainly, if I do have anything, use it as an excuse, but it is just, I think somebody wrote in and he was like maybe in his 60s and he had been diagnosed and he said, it's nice to know your strengths and it's nice to know your, I don't think he called them weaknesses, but he called them something else. Challenges maybe?
Challenges, yeah.
And he was saying it's nice to know that before they start trouble.
Yeah.
So that's good. But
Totally.
things are going great, man. I'm driving slow as shit. Not yelling in the car. I feel great about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely seen a lot of changes in you that are like really fundamental. You know, you were talking about that your daughter was noticing and people you golf with were noticing.
Yeah. Yeah. Golf has been so much more fun this year because I'm not yelling at myself. To not call yourself a fucking idiot at least once a hole for 18 straight holes is so great. Yeah. It feels good.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of my daughter, am I going to put up with her taking her sweet ass time when it's her turn when we're playing a game? I don't think so. And I don't think that's ADHD. I think that's 20 years of dealing with that. So I'm still probably going to yell a little bit about that, just so we're all clear.
Yeah. Okay. And I do think we still have some other ADHD emails to get to. You guys were so incredible. So many of you wrote in.
It's so supportive.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it.
I've tried to kind of spread them out a little bit, but do you want to answer Jenna where she's asking about that clinic, or would you prefer to do that privately?
Well, I'll do it privately, but I will tell you that I had to call in every 3 days in the morning to see if there were cancellations. And then finally there was a cancellation. So, and it's still not until August 2nd.
Yeah.
My intake thing. So just so you know, it still might be a ways out, but, and then we said, somebody wrote in saying something outside of the metro area, it could be easier.
Yeah.
But also, then you got to fucking go to the veterinarian because they're the ones that do it.
Yeah. Veterinarian. Okay, so this next one is titled Snorezilla. They say, hey, Kelsey, what brand of mouthguard do you use? My wife is looking for one for herself. I'm in no way concerned about my sleep when she snores. She purrs like a kitten, and in no way does that sound keep me up for several hours before I can fall asleep. Please help me. I see it as payback for all of the years I snored before I took delivery of my CPAP machine. LOL. Any help would be appreciated. So The mouth guard that I use is it's this like kind of front bite. It only is on the top row of your teeth and the first 6 teeth, and then there's a little block at the bottom that touches your bottom 2 front teeth. So that way, when I'm like trying to clench my jaw at night, it prevents my back teeth from, grinding up against each other. The problem with it is then all of that pressure is being focused down on just my front 2 bottom teeth, and I can see that one of them has started to turn. So when I saw a cranio facial specialist, they had recommended a different one that would actually like push my jaw out, I believe. But it's also like $2,500. And
I guess there's something wrong with a little bump and grind.
Yeah. Yeah.
$2,500 worth.
That's a lot for it to not be a guarantee that it's gonna like feel good. Or I looked into it and some people were like, oh, it like fucked up my jaw and then I had to have surgery. I mean, that's like,
God, that's what happened to Zac Efron. That's what he got.
I was hoping. That's very funny. Yeah, I might try it at some point. It is hard to go, yeah, sure, here's $2,500 just to see, just to give it a go. So sorry about the snoring. Can she get a CPAP machine? I don't really snore.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it could be like one of those scenes from a James Bond movie where they're underwater and they're passing that tube of air back and forth.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do that.
Okay, this next one is called Mom Questions. Hey guys, wanted to say first how much I love the both of you and your comedy, and I appreciate you both for opening up to your fans about your personal lives. Heads up, this email is kind of long. Sorry. It's honestly really not. You're fine. Kelsey, I have a couple of questions about your mom. I look forward to your stories about her. She really seems like such a sweet woman. Before she was diagnosed with dementia, what kind of symptoms did she show that would make one think that maybe she's headed down that road? I realize there are a lot of common symptoms, but was there anything specific that stood out from the norm? Also, how old was she when she was diagnosed? I'm asking because I'm worried that my mom, who is 67, might be showing some pre-symptoms, so to speak. The biggest thing I've noticed over the past few years is repeating her stories or situations that she'd experienced that day or recently. Not repeating them right away, but after a few hours maybe, and then again over the following days. Each time she will explain her situations as if it's the first time she's told me. A couple of times I'd speak up and kind of finish her thought, like letting her know that I know. Not to be a jerk, but just to make sure that she was aware that I'd remember she'd already told me. Doing so didn't confuse her or make her frustrated. She'd just roll along and continue with her story. Did your mom do something like this at the beginning? And if it's not too much trouble, do you think you can maybe give a timeline on your mom's diagnosis? Like at what age or how long it took before she started doing this or forgetting that, etc. I'm sure every situation is a little different, but I guess I'd like to know what to look out for. I'm scared to lose my mom in any fashion, and my heart breaks for you when you say that there are times that yours doesn't recognize you. I can't fathom how painful that must be. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling it may be something that I'll experience with my own mom at some point. Much love to you and Chad and your mom, Janelle. You can use my name. Hi, Janelle. Thank you for such a sweet and thoughtful email, and I'm so sorry that you're feeling like this might be even a possibility with your mom. Her showing those sort of symptoms of repeating stories that frequently, I do think is something you should look into with a doctor. There's a specific test that they give people when they are suspecting dementia. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a questionnaire, like a quiz, like kind of testing them mentally. My mom actually took it at one point when we were starting to see some initial signs, and she passed it, which is hard because I've mentioned on here that she's in Mensa, like she is brilliant. Yeah. And I think maybe that was part of what happened with her story, is that she was able to mask things for a very long time because her brain, I think to her, was like her greatest asset. She is still so smart, and the thought of like not being able to recall things and remember things or repeating herself really was embarrassing to her. I mean, I would kind of gently be like, oh yeah, like you told me about that, or if she'd be like, oh, why can't I think of this thing? Or, oh, I can't remember what I was going to say. And she would say to me, this is the worst feeling. And this scares me that I can't, like, why can't I come up with this? So there was some of that, but there was also some like poo-pooing it from her of, oh, well, I'm just getting old. I'm just getting old. And I think that is kind of a common misconception in our society, that as we age, that level of forgetfulness or repeating stories is common. And in reality, you really should make sure that there isn't something else going on. So she had passed that, whatever that quiz is, and they did an MRI or a CAT scan. And because with dementia, it will show plaques in the brain, and there can also be shrinkage. She had some plaques at that point, but they weren't concerned. And she had, I guess I would call it like a psychotic break when she was maybe, I'm trying to do the math on this, 66-ish, and was given medication and just went through too many environmental changes at one time, I think, after retirement. And I think people also generally really struggle with retirement. If there's somebody who is like purpose driven, and then suddenly the job they've been doing for 40 years and the people they've been surrounded by, their coworkers, that just is gone one day, you have to really make a huge effort to then maintain some sort of like social life or doing things that give you purpose. So I think there were too many big changes at once and had a psychotic break. And we thought she was doing better for a while after that. And then unfortunately the pandemic hit. And I think anybody who had underlying health issues, especially like mental health issues, could get really exacerbated. And so that's when I was starting to notice like we'd be FaceTiming, and if there was a fan above my head or like something in the background, she'd be like, oh, I can't remember exactly, like, you have like a hat on, or like, oh, what it, like, she would think that objects on the FaceTime were things that they weren't. And I'd be like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? And I'd kind of like joke with her, like, wait, what do you think that is? And she'd start laughing, like she could mask it. She'd go, oh, never mind, or just like try to play it off. And I think a pretty big sign with dementia too is like an increase in anxiety, a change in their personality. If they're like coming off in ways where you're like, oh, that like doesn't even seem like something my mom would say or a way she would be. And driving, I think people start to become really anxious about navigating and feeling like they're easily getting lost. So my mom, at a certain point, it was like to try to get her to drive anywhere was a huge ordeal and became really scary for her. And it just progressed and progressed to the point where she had some physical medical issues happen, and I found her on her floor and called 911. And when they took her in at that point, she had to have surgery done to repair an ulcer and have her gallbladder removed. And when she came out of that surgery, she was like a different person, because we didn't know that there was this underlying dementia, and anesthesia can accelerate dementia. So when she came out of surgery, she thought she had time traveled. It was, it just was like a night and day difference. So sorry, I'm trying to condense like years worth of things happening into as much like helpful information as I can give you without this becoming the longest question segment of all time. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. I just would urge you that don't, what do I want to say? If you're seeing these signs with your mom, don't take them lightly. You should take the precautions you can and get things checked out, because best case scenario, there isn't anything, and maybe there's something else going on or whatever, but the earlier you can figure this out, the better. And I do feel like they're coming out with medications that can be helpful, but yeah, it's such a it's such a tricky, horrible disease. So I'm so sorry that you're thinking that this might be happening.
Yeah, and there's a great chance she's not going to want to take these tests and do those things.
Totally.
And that's a whole other challenge that you're going to have. But I think you pull every single card, you lay every single card you have to get her to do it.
Agreed. And I know that that's a huge responsibility on you, because it can feel humiliating for them, where they're like, I don't want to know if I have something wrong with me, or I don't want to feel stupid. So I'm thinking about you, and if you want to keep us updated, please do. So
thank you.
Yeah. Oh man. Should we end on we're 46 minutes in. Should we end on a lighter question?
Sure
perhaps? Can. Okay. This one does require a little bit of thought, so I don't know if we're prepped enough for it, but we can try. Okay. It's titled CD White.
Okay.
You're like, I'm listening?
No, I just, you said it requires thought, and then that's the title, so those are two conflicting
They say,
sentences. Hey,
Kelsey and Chad, Brainerd Lakes area, Minnesota native, and friend/old bandmate of Chad's cousin Paige.
Okay.
Anyways, I found out from his other cousin Cassandra, who came to one of me and Paige's shows, about Chad's alter ego, CD White, a young Chad Daniels that was a rapper before turning comic, who created his mixtapes at Valley Fair.
This is all true.
We got a taste of it earlier.
This is all
it's
true.
It's kind of funny that this is the question we're going to do today. My question is for you both. What rap/hip hop song would you each pick for each other to describe one another or your relationship? Bonus question for Chad. What rapper name would you give Kelsey? Also, Chad, be cool and plug your cousin Paige's badass band Marrow, LMFAO. Love the pod and hope to see you guys on the road soon. P.S. I worked with a guy who went to school with Isaac in Fergus Falls, and apparently he adopted a rapper persona inspired by his dad, Chaniels.
Well, I never knew about Isaac's rapper persona.
Yeah.
But if that's what he's saying there.
Yeah, and then they sign it, James Hyde Waymeyer. Name can be used. Badass serial killer name, according to Cy Amundsen. Yeah, that for sure sounds like a subject on Time Suck.
Yeah, no kidding. So let's get this out of the way immediately. Let's plug Paige's band Marrow. Go see my cousin Paige, who I've never met in person. Go see her band, because I have, I think, a follower on Instagram, and I've seen the stuff, and it is very good. She's got a killer voice.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. What rap/hip hop song would you each pick for each other to describe one another or your relationship? Can I go?
I mean, I might not have one. I might have to think and come back on the next episode, because I'm just seeing this for the first time, and you've had it for a little while.
Yeah, but I hadn't thought of one, but I just thought of one.
Okay.
I love it when you call me Big Papa.
When you guys are done vomiting, tune back in.
That's not true. I don't call him Big Papa, but
no, she does not.
I just thought that'd be a good one. And then do you want to give me a rapper name if you can't think of a? Well, you already gave me one.
I did. Sibo. Oh no, well, Sibo, but I like to go with Lil Kels.
Lil Kels. Yeah.
Lil Kels.
Breath is tart, Lil Kels.
Or we could go Kill-C.
Ooh.
Kill C.
Kill C.
Kill C.
Ooh.
But then it's like Kill Chad, so that's not great. But I don't have a song for you yet. I mean, I have one.
Think of it.
But it would start World War III, and I'm not interested in that right now. So.
Can you just not even?
It's the first thing that popped into my head.
I know, but okay. You know what's funny? So we're about to record another episode, and there's an email that I would like to read that pertains to this.
Well, fucking tune in, because we can't do it now, because we really do have to do 2 today, or we won't be able to put one out.
Yeah.
And it's late, and we haven't eaten yet.
Okay.
So we're going to stop it here. Make sure you tune into the next episode.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in to Pretend Problems Podcast.
I'm so mad at you right now. I'm so mad at you right now. You do this. You have to stop doing this. This is what the person in the email says about ADHD, where it's like, you can't help yourself.
No, stop. Just wait.
Ugh. Okay.
Please tune in. If you have any questions or you just want to write in with a story or anything at all, please send it to pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com. And we'd better record this next one before I get murdered.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.